party. Niko na party. Jen, hata nini? Eka hapo. Sini inazuia gari. Haizuii miguu. Weka gari tuende na miguu. Kama tuna party lazima tutakuwa na party. Hello. Wega. Ele daqui, né? Ei. Ele bali do areke. Hey.
We have been speaking about something that has been happening in the political corridors of the Republic of Kenya. And we have been pointing out at the name of one former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and his return in the country, and what the government has in store for this man that has made it his duty to destroy President William Ruto completely. Now, I said once again that Rigathi Gachagua was meant to return in the country on 8th of August 2025, which was yesterday. But due to the circumstances surrounding his return, Rigathi Gachagua had to forgo his homecoming and decided to extend his stay in the United States, where he has even started planning a tour in the United Kingdom, where after the United Kingdom, Rigathi Gachagua is expected to fly to Dubai, where now he and the United Opposition principals will have a meeting where they will decide on the right approach to come back in the country due to the circumstances that are surrounding his return, where the president and the National Security Council have made it mandate to make sure that Rigathi Gachagua is taken into custody the moment that he steps his feet on the Kenyan soil. Now, this evening, some new details in regarding to Rigathi Gachagua's return has currently made headlines in on the streets of social media. And there is a message that one Mavrika Oko pointed out, which I assure you, it is what I really told you, and it's what the state is dealing with right now. Oko tells the DCI to nab Gachagua upon his return from USA. Okay, we are waiting. Is that why anti-riot police have camped outside NAIVASHA's MP home? She was to lead his homecoming team. Kama Samido amkuweza cheered. Is this the mentality of reconciliation in the memorandum of understanding? Now, this is a message from one Mavrika Oko, and I take it with great regard. Allow me to tell you that today, the DCI and the anti-riot police camped outside the home of one NAIVASHA MP, Jen Kihara, where they wanted to take her into custody on matters surrounding a meeting that was supposed to take place at MP Jen Kihara's home. Now listen, Ndegwa said this: Honorable Jen Kihara has just called me and equally sent the attached text and clips herein. She is under siege. Policemen have taken her hostage. The police have even blocked the road leading to her residence. This is what Jen Kihara told Ndegwa. She said, "Hi Wakili, I'm under siege again. All these police are at my gate. I was expecting some guests." Now listen, the National Intelligence Service is a body that works in shadows. And if there is one of the most equipped intelligence that we have in Africa, is the National Intelligence Service, which is the body of investigation in Kenya. Now, the National Intelligence Service had received intel that Honorable Jen Kihara was the mastermind behind Rigathi Gachagua's homecoming, where earlier I had told you that the team behind the opposition, and more so the team behind Rigathi Gachagua, are planning one of the most vibrant homecoming for the former DP. They want the return of Rigathi Gachagua to be as vibrant as that of Kenneth Matiba in 1992, They wanted to be like that of Mwai Kibaki in the year 2002. Remember, Kenneth Matiba was returning from prison when he was coming to vie for presidency. After Kenya was allowed to become a multi-party state, and his homecoming was so humongous. I mean, the people of the Mount Kenya region saw the rebirth in Kenneth Matiba, because the Matiba was the redemption child of the Mount Kenya region during his time. In 2002, when Mwai Kibaki was vying for the presidency, he was involved in an accident. After he was involved in an accident, he was taken to London for treatment. Now, he stayed in London for a month or two for treatment. Now, people had started asking themselves a lot of questions on the return of Mwai Kibaki. But the team behind Mwai Kibaki's return, led by Kijana wa Malwa, Charity Ngilu, Martha Karua, Raila Odinga, ensured that the homecoming of Kibaki was the seal to making him the president of the Republic of Kenya. And that is what they did. So that is what Honorable Jen Kihara was planning for Rigathi Gachagua. And the National Intelligence Service had acquired intel on regards to this matter. So they had to act swiftly to make sure that they curb this meeting, to ensure that it doesn't happen, because if it does happen, it will be so detrimental to the regime of President William Ruto. So that is why the deployment of anti-riot police was made to happen. Now remember, Jen Kihara has been a key political figure and a key strategist when it comes to making and setting up the next government. Why am I saying this? In the year 2018, the then Deputy President William Ruto, MPs Rigathi Gachagua then, Kimani Ichung'wah, Didi Nyoro, Moses Kuria met at the home of Jen Kihara. The mission was to make sure that they craft a strategy of selling Ruto in the Mount Kenya region. Then Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta had joined hands with Raila Odinga under the handshake government. So Ruto and Akina Jen Kihara at the home where Ruto is today sending goons sending goons masquerading as police officers, is where they drafted the hustler narrative slogans that made Ruto the president he is today. And that is where Jen Kihara today was meeting to craft a way of making Rigathi Gachagua the de facto, to make him to make sure that Rigathi Gachagua's homecoming is one for the books, that William Ruto cannot assume Rigathi Gachagua. They cannot label him a madman as they have continued to label him for several days, for several years. Are we together? But the NIS had acquired this intel, and so they went ahead to block the entrance to Jen Kihara's home. Now, apart from that, Rigathi Gachagua's return has been rescheduled. Rigathi Gachagua might stay in the United States up to the year 2025, the month of December, or even go beyond 2025 to 2026. And take this to the bank and cash on it. Because Rigathi Gachagua also is not your mere politician who just spits nonsense. This is a man with intel. This is a man that worked for the police force. This is a man that worked for the paramilitary. He is a trained officer in the field of gathering intel. Are we together? So Rigathi Gachagua has planted moles inside William Ruto's government and every department. So whenever something is being planned against him, Rigathi Gachagua receives that intel. Now, upon verification of that intel, he decides on what to do next, whether to confront the situation or whether to lay back and attack from afar. And that is what he is doing right now. You have seen him right now, he is transversing the United States. He has been selling a narrative in the United States that William Ruto currently is working in cahoots with terror groups like the Al-Shabaab and the RSF militia of Sudan. Now, this was a move by Gachagua to make sure that it discredits William Ruto's reputation in the United States and more so within the United States government, to make sure that William Ruto is persona non grata in the United States. Are we together? Now, what does this tell you? This tells you that this is a man that knows the game. He has learned it from the best and he is playing against the best. So it is upon him now to know how to maneuver through these loopholes. But his return, if he makes a mistake of coming back in the country right now, Rigathi Gachagua, the moment he lands at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, he will be taken into custody. Remember, the National Intelligence Services has agents all over the world. He cannot board a plane ticket or even buy a plane ticket from the United States coming back to Kenya through the Kenya Airways without them getting the intel and notifying the relevant authorities in the country. Are we together? That's what is going on. Tell me what you think about this. Leave a comment on the comment section. See you in our next video, my dear. Make sure you subscribe. Tell me what you think about this strategy by the president of arresting Rigathi Gachagua upon his return. See you in our next video.